So last Sunday, my beautiful wife and I were just finishing up our breakfast, and we were just kind of settling in, getting ready for a day of really not doing too much, just relaxing. But all of a sudden, my phone rang, and something changed. Do you want to hear what it is and what it has to do with comics, of course? Stick around. Hello, all my good friends out there in YouTube land. It is your friend Philtastic Phil here, and I want to welcome you back to my channel, Philtastic Comics and Art. Just as I said in the introduction to this video, I wasn't planning on doing any comic book collecting this past Sunday. I was looking forward to just a really mellow and quiet day, but all of that changed. So my wife and I were just finishing up our breakfast, and I heard a tone. I looked down at my phone and I had an Instagram message. Now, I don't get many Instagram messages, I'll be honest with you, and 9 times out of 10, it's spam. I just see what it is. Oh, you want to increase your followers, or you want to do this, you want to do that. I get rid of them. I don't even pay attention to them. But this message I had to pay attention to because it came from one great member of the comic book community, one great YouTuber who I've spoken about before. I'm talking about the one and only pride of PA, Mr. Matt Woods. So Matt Woods, in case you haven't checked out his channel, has an amazing comic book room. I think the best all around. I'd put it up against anybody, to be honest with you. And he's a great guy. He's somebody I can honestly say I've befriended as a result of watching the Reggie Collects YouTube channel. Matt and I have just connected, and I'll tell you, I would not have this channel here today if it weren't for Matt. Very nice guy, very encouraging, always willing to help out with whatever crazy questions I have. As I was saying, this past weekend, I was just looking to relax. I was aware that there was an event going on near me. The Bratton brothers were having another comic book garage sale. Now, I attended their last garage sale, I think it was just maybe about 2 months ago or so. And I did put a little video up about the haul I got there. It was a great show, and I got I shouldn't say a great show, it was a great day. And I did pick up some nice things there. You could go ahead and check out the old video in the description of this video here. But I wasn't planning on going this weekend. Again, I just wanted to relax. Matt sends me a message, hey, are you going to the Brattons? Now, I live 10 minutes away from the Brattons. Matt lives 4 hours away. So in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, Matt's coming there. I gotta meet Matt. We gotta have a face-to-face, and especially he's coming from a long drive away. At least that, in my mind, that's long, especially just for a day trip. So I said to my wife, look, I gotta go to the Bratton Brothers garage sale. Matt Woods is coming. And my wife is a total sweetheart. She said, okay, you do what you have to do, not a problem. Don't buy too much. And I didn't. But I will show you what I did buy here. I made up for what I lacked in quantity this time. I did make up for in quality. Why don't we say that? I think that's very fair to say. So here's the thing. I respect the Bratton brothers, and I respect Matt Woods so much. They both give, all three of them I should say, give a lot to this community, whether it's through Doug's blog posts, Dave's action figure videos, or Matt's YouTube videos. All around, they're just great people, and I like doing nice things for nice people. About a week prior to this, I had reached out to Doug and I said, hey, who's your favorite character of all time, and who's your brother's favorite character of all time? Because I didn't tell him why, but I'll tell you guys. I wanted to do a special artistic AOK, nice little giveaway, just something for me, something I could do. So now, here we are. Matt is about, I think, 2 hours away at this point, and I'm like, okay, I got to bust out at least 2 paintings between now and then, because of course I procrastinated. Like I said, it was a busy week in my defense. Again, my wife, being the sweetheart that she is, let me run downstairs and put out 2 really good watercolor pieces, I have to say, especially doing them on short notice, or relatively short notice, I guess. That's kind of unusual for me, because when I work on a painting, I really like to sit and go over and over and over it. And I think maybe this is why it was so good, just because I had a purpose in my head, I had action on my mind, I just knew I had to be done with it. I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you the paintings that I did give them at the end of this video. I'm going to keep you in suspense just for a little bit. Okay, so in about an hour, I had the paintings done, I grabbed all my stuff, threw it in the car, was very hopeful it didn't rain at that point, and I found myself at the Brattons about 10 minutes later. Got to hang out with the both of them, and of course I saw Matt, which was huge, and we all hung out for a little bit, you know, not doing too much. They had a great sale going on with a lot of great books, and I met a new YouTuber too I'm going to talk about in a little bit. In the middle of the afternoon, I have to tell you, a huge downpour started, and it was kind of funny that the Brattons were smart enough to put out these 2 tents to cover up their tables with all their comics, and Dave actually had some action figures for sale too, which were pretty cool. I'm not an action figure guy, but some interesting looking stuff. And as it's raining, because of the wind, it's starting to kind of go sideways. So we're very slowly but surely pulling the tables in and making sure everything is covered. Luckily, no comics and no toys, I'm proudly to say, were damaged at all. At one point, I was kind of just pushing water off the top of the tents just to make sure it didn't sag and bring the whole thing down. Luckily, it only rained for about, I'm going to say, maybe 45 minutes or so. And like I said, it was just a really great afternoon. I wanted to tell you this story, not to just say, hey, I went to a comic book garage sale. Now, as great as that is, and it is great, one thing it really helps keep in perspective is why we collect, and really the nature of comic book collecting as a hobby. If you were to Google hobby, just like I did, I think it pulls from the Oxford Dictionary, it defines a hobby as an activity done in one's leisure time for pleasure. In my mind, what has always made comic book collecting stand out amongst other hobbies and other activities is not the stories that we read. Look, the stories that we read about these characters that we've spent so much time memorizing and following and really kind of taking these stories to heart, I hope that you realize they're not real. And I'm sure many of you do know that. Of course, these are works of fiction. But what is real are the connections that you form with your fellow collectors while in the process of collecting comics or just talking about comics. Even if you guys have opposing opinions, it's always great just to connect with other people. And that's what really stands out in comic book collecting. More so than any hobby in my mind, comic book collecting is not just a hobby, it's a community. So the same source I used, Google, the Oxford Dictionary term at least, defines community as a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. That, to me, is the perfect definition of comic book collecting. Well, I'm not going to tell you how to do your collection. Look, if your MO is you just want to go to your store, buy your comics, maybe say hello or grunt at the very least, go back home, sit in your basement and read comics, fine. You do you. But I'm sure that you'd agree with me, in the long run at least, although you can sit there and play solitaire, it's more fun to play chess. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, connect with somebody in your comic book collecting community. I mean, look, I'll tell you, 2020, the pandemic, my wife and I didn't leave the house for several months, unless we had to. I was the guy who did the grocery shopping. I told her to stay home. There was a time when my comic book store just was not open. Where did I go to talk about comics, or at least just to listen about comics? YouTube. That's how I found Reggie Collects and Matt Woods and ultimately the Bratton brothers. And really, I think it's helped reinvigorate my interest in the hobby on a whole different level. With that, let me go ahead and shut up, I guess, and show you what I did pick up at the Bratton Brothers garage sale. Because again, it was a great, great garage sale. And by the way, if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, or if you happen to be passing through and you catch wind that they're having another one of these sales, I do recommend that you definitely check it out. I'll put links to their Instagram channels on here. Also, Doug has a great blog on Reggie Collects. I know I've talked about it in the past, but go ahead, I'll put another link in here. We're going to have another couple hundred links, I guess, in here. And of course, Matt Woods' channel is one of the best channels you can see on YouTube for comic book collecting, bar none. Especially if you like Conan the Barbarian. But even if you just go to check out how cool his comic book room is and his shelving, which I want, go ahead and do so. I'm going to put that link in here too. Enough about that. When I went to the garage sale, I had my Reggie Collects Comics to Go box. I think that's what it's called, at least here. Great, protects my comics, and better than bags. So, let me show you what I got. First of all, I do want to mention another YouTuber that I met while I was at the garage sale, had a great conversation with, and I have not checked out his channel yet, but I fully intend to do so. I'm going to put a link in this description here too, because I want you to check it out. He does have a really great Instagram page. I was speaking with Aaron from Double A Comics. That's double A with double spelled out, not AA Comics. The comics are not alcoholics, nor do they drink. It's just Double A Comics, and he's got a really cool sticker. I like this a lot. Go ahead and check out his channel. I certainly will. And Aaron, if you're watching this, it was great to meet you. We had a great conversation. I did enjoy that very much. So now let me show everybody what we got here. And again, I only got 2 books this time, but I made it count. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to give you a couple little hints. These books that I got at the Bratton Brothers garage sale, comic book garage sale, same title. I would say it's like one of those kind of newer classics. And by newer classics, I mean maybe within the past 25, 30 years. Let's not think about how old they are. But they're certainly well-renowned books, certainly a well-renowned character. It's a character that you'll be seeing in their very own Netflix series very, very soon. In fact, there's just been a lot of casting announcements soon. Hopefully they'll start filming. Do you want to take a guess? Okay, we're going to go right into it. So both of these books are from the Sandman series. I picked up issue number 2. This is the second appearance and second cover appearance of Dream, the Sandman, Morpheus as he's known. And I also picked up the Sandman number 10. First appearance of the Corinthian, who is confirmed to be also in the Netflix series. Very cool books. I appreciate you guys for having that. And I can't wait to see, of course, the Netflix series. And with that, I'm going to leave you with not only the pictures, a couple pictures of the paintings I did for the Bratton brothers. Dave's favorite character is Shazam, somebody I've never painted before, but I did like this painting in the end. And Doug's favorite was Sandman, Morpheus. Maybe that kind of inspired me to get the books a little bit. Didn't think about that until now. Now, the only downside is that I didn't have enough time to put together a special artistic AOK for Matt, but I did give him an AOK to open up on his channel, and I said, Matt, I'm giving you the gift of content. Go ahead and show this off when you'd like to. And hopefully he has that up on his channel soon, and I hope that you check it out when he does. And next time that you're around, Matt, just as I said, you give me a heads up, at least give me a day's heads up. We'll go out, we'll get some food. I'll ask my wife to make some delicious baklava that she's very, very great at doing. And of course, I'll have a proper artistic AOK for you at that time as well. Thank you again for watching, my friends. I do appreciate you checking out this channel. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your evening. Peace, love, and comics.